Well, hello from me and Lexi. Welcome back. If you are a return, if this is your first video, just welcome. Thank you to my new subscribers. My numbers are suddenly going up. This is kind of exciting. I'm glad that you're here. Please feel free to say hi, leave a note in the comments, let me know you're here, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. I love the chance to interact with people. That's part of the reason that I kept doing this. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing is Stitchy mail, Stitchy haul, Stitchy supplies, whatever you want to call it. Pretty much, I got my order from Cross Stitching Supplies, so I got a ton of black fabric that I'm dropping all over the place. 11 pieces of 8x10 black Zweigart 16 count Aida and 1 piece of 10 by 17 count. I'm gonna move that so that when Lexi comes in here, she doesn't step on it. And that is for my Mania plan, if you remember from last week, which is in part to do a series of smalls, including the Tiny Modernist Words to Live By series. Actually, it's mostly the Tiny Modernist Words to Live By series because that's going to be 12 of the 15 days. And that's the other thing that came in that package was all of the patterns for that. So that was it. Of course, my fabric of the month from Mystic will probably be here tomorrow. And everything else is still on back order. So that's about it for haul for now. Although I just realized I forgot one thing I will need later, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. 2 minutes and 16 seconds in before I have to turn it off and go get something I forgot. That's gotta be some kind of record and not in a good way. So, whips. As predicted, I didn't get a ton done this week because Easter travel, but I did get some stuff done, and there'll be a funny story along with one of these when I get to it. But the first one, not a whip, it's a finish. I know, right? I didn't think I could do that either. So, last week I talked about my goal of working in some of my smalls and my nearly finished to get some stuff off my plate before the influx of Mania, and just for the fact that I have like 35 whips. I haven't counted them lately, but you know, eventually I've got to have something move from a whip to an FO. And here is the one. Ta-da! Tiny Modernist Words to Live By Part 2. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. This is part 2 of the series that I just showed you, the 13-part series. That's why I only have 12 for Mania, because I already had this one going. You'd think that I won the lottery with how proud I am of this stinking tiny little finish. But I got it done. And I really love this series, and I'm glad that I just found it, and I can't wait to see the rest of it. I can wait to try and mess with quilting it all onto a quilt, but I think that'll be so gorgeous when it's done. I mean, with some sort of bright yellow in between. And actually, I haven't done a lot, but I inherited pretty much the entire contents of my mom's craft room when she passed away, because neither of my sister-in-laws really want it. Her best friend didn't want any of it. My sister-in-law asked for the Cricut, and Cricut's not my thing anyway, so it didn't even hurt to give that to her. So yeah, but the rest of it has kind of been like mine, and I've only just barely scratched the surface of what's in there. It's gonna take me a long time, especially since lately when I go up, I've been timing it so that my dad is off work, so I'm spending the time with him, because that's really why I go up there. And with my nephews, they usually manage to come over and score a sleepover, and I'm not going to go upstairs when I know they're going to follow me to a room that has a lot of stained glass and broken glass in it. So I haven't gotten to clean it out, but one of the things, the one day that I did get in and start to look around, was I found a whole container of this sunflower patterned cloth, and I'm pretty sure it was intended to be part of a quilt. So I think that'll be awesome for the back, because it's largely green, and like I said, I think I want something bright here, the yellow or the magenta. For some reason I see it with yellow, but that'll be an awesome backing. So really I'll just need to get the pieces that go around the front, and since it's sunflower patterned and it has a pop of yellow in it, it'll match. So there's my finish. It's going to be a long time before that is an FFO, because I have to do 13 other pieces, and then I have to figure out how to quilt. But the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right? My other two, surprise, surprise, I worked on Defying Gravity and I worked on Sebastian. So first up, and it traveled and my Q-snap is all loose now. First up is Defying Gravity. And as you'll remember, I had a little frogging issue with this one last week. Didn't really get, I had hit exactly halfway and then I'd pretty much stopped. And I had realized as I put the last stitch in that there were 3 stitches of that color when there should have only been 2, and oh no, I made a mistake. And then the more I looked at it, the more I realized that when I was mentally filling in the rest of it, I'm like, it's gonna be really noticeable. So I knew I had to go back and frog it. So I did. Thanks for those that had suggestions on that, by the way. So I frogged it, and then I went ahead and finished the lips because I had nice long pieces of thread, and why waste them when they would actually finish out all that red. Even though I wanted to actually, the page I'm working on is the opposite one right now. So yeah, here's where I'm at. So you can see I got the lips all the way done, and I got some more in on her hair and the background on the opposite side, because that's the side that I'm going to be working on for now. And again, as I said last week, I've gushed about this one so much that I really don't have a lot more to say about it other than it's coming along. I'm excited. I love working on it. That said, when we get to plans, you'll find out that this probably won't get a lot of love this week. So this maybe say goodbye to this one for a week or so, because I doubt I'll give you an update on it next week. But so pretty. Love it. And last but not least, as you can tell from my little monologue last week, comes one of my favorites, and that is Sebastian. As a reminder, as I gush about how much I love this one, this is a gift for someone else. This is a gift from my friend who will be cosplaying Sebastian with me this year. And I'm not going to get to keep it, which is fine, because they will love it just as much as I do, if not more. And this is the one that I have a funny story with. So I'm kind of the evil aunt in that, you know, my brothers deserve everything they get. I'm just going to say it right now. Okay? So when I sugar up their kids and send them back, or give them loud toys or whatever, they've earned it. They've more than earned it. I'm not saying I was an angel, but they've earned it. So my nephews came over for a few hours so that I could give them their Easter baskets, and I buy them each a nice hardcover book for every holiday. I do this with all of my nibblings. and I write the date and I write an inscription on the inside, so that they will have these when they get older. And a lot of them are adult books that they're nowhere near ready to read, but they'll have a nice grown-up library as they get older. So I gave them their books and I gave them their baskets, and then we played some cards, but eventually we settled down to watch a movie. And as long as we were sitting down, I pulled out my cross stitch and I was working on Sebastian. And I guess I'll go ahead and show you Sebastian right now. So, and I'm sorry if you can't see this because I'm still waiting for my camera to connect. So there he is. I've made some good progress in filling in the face and the hair, working my way down. As a reminder, this is the break for page 1. And this is not too far from the break for page 2. This is actually at about 23% done. So page 2 is not going to be as big as page 1. And I am almost a quarter of the way done with this one. Woohoo! Excited about that. So anyway, my story. There is nothing there for you. And this is why all of my projects contain dog hair. And I even have a needle minder that says that. This project may contain dog hair. Because here's my visitor all the time. Have I ever told you guys, the story about how I know exactly how long of a break she gives me in between these attacks? Hi. If I remember, I'll tell you in a minute. If not, and you want to hear it, go ahead and leave me a message in the comments, and I'll try to remember to tell you later, because she is as much of a geek as I am. All right, are you done? Are you done? No? All right, well, stay. Okay, I guess we're gonna do it this way. I'll have Sebastian back up here. So, oi, this is not yours. So, I sit down to work on Sebastian while we're watching the movie. And apparently my nephews are fascinated with cross stitch. And the one has actually, the 8-year-old, oh boy is he smart. He's so smart. He was telling me this weekend that he is reading on a 4th grade level and he's in 2nd grade. Takes after Aunt Carrie, I tell you what. Has made the connection between, the last time I was up, they watched me work on nonograms. And so he made the connection between filling in squares to make a picture, because one of the things he said was, remember that spider you worked on the last time I was here? And that was the nonogram that I was working on with him. So, they're fascinated with my cross stitch. And my brother, I just feel like he would be aghast if I taught them how to cross stitch. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do it. First of all, because I don't think it should be a quote-unquote girly hobby. I'm really not a fan of gender stereotypes and gender roles in general. So if they want to learn to cross stitch, then they should learn to cross stitch. But second of all, I think it'll drive my brother up the wall. And I'd love it. So I'm debating that. So anyway, they were watching me work on Sebastian, and the younger one was hilarious because he has no concept of how long it takes to stitch. So like every 5 minutes he was coming back to see how much further I'd gotten. And I'm like, just 1 row more, buddy. Just 1 more row of 10 stitches. This doesn't go very fast. But it was hilarious and adorable and hilariously adorable. And so, yeah, there's my story about me working on Sebastian and enchanting my nephews with cross stitch. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of a reach, but Anyway, so that is the last thing that I worked on for this week. I guess now I can tell you about, no, let me tell you about plans and then I'll tell you about the dork and her method of making me relax while I'm watching, or while I'm stitching. So, future plans. I really like the Magical Stitches prompts this week. They give me a chance to work on a couple of things that I want to work on. And again, one of them I didn't bring in here. So, you know what? If I get up, she's going to move around and it's going to be a mess again. So I'm just going to post a picture here. But one of the prompts is that you have to work on something. The god Apollo is fond of creating haiku. So therefore, instead of 5 syllables, work on something that has 5 letters. So I'm choosing to work on paw prints because it has a heart, H-E-A-R-T. So, yeah. And if you'll remember, I brought all of the pieces I'm planning to work on this week in here so that you can see them, except for paw prints. So, here's where I was at. And the prompts this week are 500 stitches. So that's going to get me a good distance on getting that heart done. And that should put this one within striking distance of being done in the next couple months. So, yeah. The other prompt is causing me to pull out something that I've really wanted to work on and haven't been able to justify. And that is Tiny Modernist Zodiac Stitch Along. The prompt is that the goddess Artemis likes to turn people into jackalopes, and a jackalope is a combination of a jackrabbit and an antelope. So work on a project that has 2 animals in it, and then for fun squeeze their names together to form a name of your new creature. And so I'm choosing to work on Tiny Modernist Zodiac Stitch Along. Because if you will remember from weeks past, or if you know the Zodiac, even though right now I am working on Aquarius, the next 3 are all animals. So there's Pisces. I hope you can see that because my camera is no longer on my watch. Really, it shouldn't go to sleep that quickly. My star sign Aries is the ram, which is one of the 2 that I'm using. And then the next one is Taurus, the bull. So I'm combining the bull and the ram to create a roll, but it's really just giving me a chance to put in 500 stitches on Aquarius because they just have to be on the project. They don't have to be on the part that you're working on. So as a reminder, because it's been a long time since I pulled this one out, here's where I'm at. And this is 16 count Phantom by Picture This Plus. Although the piece I have doesn't have very much purple in it. So here's where I'm at. I'll pull it back a little further so you can see. Not that this part down here is going to mean very much because I'm going to be working across those top 3, working that way. But this is going to get me a good portion of Aquarius done. And it's something to work on, a fun little break that I can work on something besides my gifts, because as pretty as they are, it gets a little tiring to work on them and only them week after week. So 500 stitches on that one. After that, it's going to be free for all. Sebastian's in play, Defying Gravity's in play. If I get more than 1,000 stitches in. Cinderella is in play. And then the other two gifts that I can pull out are Grimm's Fairy Tales, Don't Hold Your Breath, and We Do Disney. But it'll be Sebastian or Defying Gravity, I'm pretty sure. And then the other thing also is the next small, now that I have the first one done. I hope that wasn't too distracting. I'm glad at least she's comfortable. And that is, I'm choosing to pull out the flamingo ornament that I started a few weeks ago. This is one of the 3 from Hands On Design. It's Flamingo All the Way. And this shouldn't take too long to finish it all, because here's where I am. I have all of the flamingos pretty much done. So I just gotta do everything else. And of course I say this shouldn't take too long, but a lot of that is little like single stitches out in the middle of nowhere, so they're gonna have to be anchored with pin stitches, and they're gonna have to be counted too, and this is linen. So my counting skills are not really great on linen yet, but I'm getting there. So it's gonna take a lot longer than it looks like it actually will take. But yeah. There's my flamingos. More and more flamingos. And as a reminder, the other 2 flamingo patterns are the other 2 that I am going to do during Mania. So that's all my whips. That's my future plans for the week. So if you don't care about the rest, bye. I hope you have a great week. If you care about the reading, watching, listening to, because that's what I'm going to talk about next, then stick around. Reading. Actual reading. I'm still working on A Court of Mist and Fury. Don't let the amount of time I've been working on that book convince you of whether or not it's any good. It's amazing, but like I said, I keep it in my car. It's what I read when I'm 15 minutes early to work and I have a few minutes, or when I'm waiting for my grocery order to be picked up. Because if I brought it in here, I wouldn't do anything else until it was done. I've got about 220 more pages left on that one. And keeping it in the car, it will still take me a while. But that just draws the pleasure out. So that's the only thing I'm actually reading in physical hard copy. That's not true. I finished 3 volumes of the Black Butler manga. I think they were volumes, let's see, 18, 19, and 20 is what I'm picking up. So 15, 16, and 17. And I am in the school arc, and I am enjoying it. I think it's a riot. I'm not very happy with the twist at the end. I was hoping it would kind of stand alone, and instead it's building on another arc, which is fine, and I'll get over it. But I don't know why I'm disappointed by that, because I love the arc that it's building on, and I know that that arc comes into play later, because I am incapable of not encountering spoilers. Especially if you read a lot of fan fiction, and the people that are writing it are ahead of you. So, yeah, well, I've got the next 3. 2 of them are already at the library on hold. I finished volume 28 of Yona of the Dawn. Things are getting pretty intense there. My ship is trying to get out of port. But again, I have a hard time staying spoiler free, so I kind of know what's in store down the road for that as well. But I'm looking forward to it. I think that one is kind of nearing the end. But the frustrating thing is I know volume 29 at least, and I suspect volume 30 are already out, and my library hasn't even ordered them, so I can't put them on hold. It's my birthday in a few weeks. I might use my birthday money to buy the next couple volumes. But of course, then if I buy volume 29 and 30, eventually I'm going to have to go back and buy the rest. So that could be a super expensive splurge. And then in Blue Exorcist, I just finished today volume 19. And yeah, that one's interesting as well. I don't really have a lot to say about it. Which makes me sound really unenthusiastic for it. I'm loving it. I just don't have a lot to say about it without getting really deep into a long arc. I think one of the overarching ones for the rest of the series. And so it would be really hard to talk about it without getting into like a lot of things that are going on. And then this would be a really long video filled with a lot of stuff that most people aren't going to care about. So I read that. Liz also finished. Oh boy, I did a lot this week. 6 hours each way in the car helps with audiobooks. I finished The Warlock by Michael Scott, which is the 5th book in the series The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel. This is the one that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. For me, it's very uneven. There are sections that feel like a slog to me, and then there are sections that I'm hanging on the edge of my seat to hear what happens next. There's one book left, and boy, did they end this book with a plot twist. I haven't picked up the next book yet from the library because I only get 3 weeks to listen to things, and I'm in the middle of something else. So I don't want to pick it up and then have this book take me 2 weeks to get through, and then I've got a week left to get through it, because they're not insignificant books. I mean, they're not huge, but they're, a good 13, 14 hours, 11, 12, 13, 14 hours each. And I don't know how long the last one is, but that's what they've been clocking in at. So it would be my luck to have a week left and just go through a period where I don't have a chance to get any listening done. So I'm just going to not get that one out yet. The other thing I am listening to, and this is a super long title, so I've pulled it up on my iPad so that I can get it right, and I'm only into chapter 2 on this one, so maybe 20 minutes. But it's D-Day Girls, the spies who armed the resistance, sabotaged the Nazis, and helped win World War II by Sarah Rose. Just from the description, I think it sounds awesome. It was a recommendation from someone that I follow on Instagram, and I can't remember who right now. I thought it sounded interesting, so yeah, I've just gotten that one started. There are a couple others from that list that have also gone on to my to be read list, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. So that's it for reading/listening, and then on to watching. I didn't do a lot of watching this week. Actually, I think Thursday night I stitched for like 4 or 5 hours in complete silence. No TV, no radio, no Flosstube, no Lulu, nothing. And I like doing that every once in a while. But that also means that my to-be-watched list stays the same length that it is. So I watched 6 episodes of Fairy Tale. So I've been saying for months and months and months that I need to finish Fairy Tale, and I only have 30 episodes left. Now I have 24 episodes left. So I watched 6 episodes of Fairy Tale, and then just because I wanted some background noise, and I've seen it enough that I could probably quote it to you, I threw on a quick episode of Black Butler when I had like 30 more minutes of stuff that I wanted to get done that night, instead of getting drawn into something else. So my to-be-watched list is actually growing rather than shrinking. but I did make a little bit of progress. And that leads me to the Lexi story. Lexi likes to, and I'm surprised she's not up here with the number of times I have said her name in the last couple minutes. She's pretty cool with my stitching. She'll go in the bedroom and take a nap as soon as it looks like I'm settling down to stitch. But I am required to take regular breaks. And those breaks occur at about 46-minute intervals. Why 46, do you ask? And how do I know that? Because an episode of anime is about 23 minutes long, and she comes in during the credits of the second episode. Like clockwork, without fail, almost every time. So, this is the story of how Lexi times her petting breaks. So, she will go into the bedroom, she will take a nap, credits for episode 2 roll on, she comes across the hall and gets up in, if I ignore her, she will come up under the project, say I'm sitting here stitching, she will come up under the project and get in my face until I stop and pet her. So y'all think she's so adorable, and she is, but she is a pest sometimes. So that makes me take a break and pets and give love, and she accepts it all magnanimously like the princess that she is. And we move on with our lives until 46 minutes later when the credits of the 4th episode roll and she comes wandering back in looking for her due yet again. So that's about it. Life update, nothing really happened that I haven't already told you about. Went up to Michigan, spent some time with my dad, played with the nephews for a few hours, sugared them up and sent them back to their other grandparents' house. Not really, but maybe kind of. We had a good time, and I didn't really do anything else. I've had the last 2 weeks off of dance, had pretty much just been going to work and coming back. So, that's it. That's all I have for this week. Yes, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to, if you did enjoy, drop a like, drop a note in the comments, say hi, give me a chance to say hi back. Send me a message on Instagram, whatever you want to do. And until next week, I hope you guys stay safe and stay healthy. See you next time. Bye.